Hey guys, Tyler here from Small Craft Fisherman, Small Craft Outfitters. Want to do another one of our quick and dirty videos, nothing fancy, but to give you a walkthrough on the Feelfree Lure 11.5 version 2. We recently did a walkthrough on the 13.5 version 2. I know the version 2s have been out a while. Due to the COVID situation, supply chains are tricky for dealers, and I'm sure you've noticed as customers to get kayaks in. So this is our first 11.5 version 2. So a few subtle differences. Improvements as far as I'm concerned. Just want to walk you through those changes in the version 2 and give you guys our opinion on them. Alright, so this is a customer's boat. It's already sold. Almost all of our boats are pre-sold nowadays before they get in. Starting at the front, major difference is these rod tip protectors. I first seen these on the Moken version 2, the Moken 12.5 version 2. Kind of a welcome benefit, especially if you're fishing rivers or brushy areas. Keeps your rods out of the way. And I'll get to where they strap in here in the back momentarily. As far as the hatch goes, I mean, the hull's the same for the most part. So they still have the hatch that you're familiar with 3 locking mechanisms. That flips open. You have your hatch access. Pro tip, there is serial number hidden up here in the hatch, so if it gets stolen, that's another spot that you can find it. I'll show you the rear one here as we move on. That is on all the 11.5s, 13.5s, etc. Just a thing I thought of showing you while we were here. Closing this back up, sonar pod pops right out, just as it always has. One minor grief that I have about the sonar pod is the floppy toppy. Just pulls off, has a bungee cord there. Not a big deal, but it is nice. We actually do it for our customers for free. We put a metal hinge on the back. It only costs a couple bucks or so. Makes it more like a hatch, which is kind of nice, especially if you have an expensive sonar on it, so you don't have to set it on the ground. In here you come with your certificate of origin for registration, and then scupper plugs from Feelfree that have lids on them. Just a note on all these boats that do come with scupper plugs, the Lure series are the ones that come with them. There are purposely 2 fewer scupper plugs than there are scupper holes in the boat. You do not want to plug all of them. My personal preference, I don't plug any of them, except in cold water in the 11.5. I weigh about 220, 230 pounds. So when I stand up, some water comes in these front scuppers, same with the Moken 12.5. So I plug those front ones. Other than that, in warm water, they just stay wide open. I tried plugging the tank well once, and it filled with water. I ended up doing a wheelie for my paddle splash, so just a heads up. So getting back to the V2 changes, you'll notice the foot pegs. These are the Feelfree foot pegs that come stock on all the V2s now. They came previously on like the Lure 10 version 1 that didn't accept a rudder. These do not accept a rudder because you need the toe pegs on them. The cool thing about these is they are still adjustable, and they are large, comfortable, sturdy. One big thing, so the version 2 boat stayed at the same price point as the version 1s. Part of that being the tracks that accept the rudder control are made by a third party. They're made by Smart Track. So that obviously costs Feelfree more money to make or buy those and put them in the boats. Whereas these are their made foot pegs. They work great. You just need to make sure if you do get the rudder to get the version 2 rudder kit, because the version 2 rudder kit comes with the Smart Track pegs, and you swap these out for the Smart Track one. So just a heads up, if you have a version 1 boat, you can go with just a regular rudder kit. If you have a version 2, you need to specify with your dealer it's a version 2 kit so that they can get you the foot pegs with it to swap out. Moving on, we still have the stand-up strap like we normally do. Kind of a neat little touch here is on the deck. It has this cool version 2 logo in foam with some print on it. Just a subtle difference, kind of cool. Otherwise, the gravity seat is the same as expected. Just like in the 13.5, one change is right here. There's an indent. What this is for is the 8-ball control unit. So should you add the overdrive pedal system to this, it actually has an indentation of where exactly you need to install the 8-ball control system for the hand control for the rudder, which is kind of nice. Then going back here, so these straps are actually for the rod tip protectors. So you strap in the back of your rod here, and then it runs up the length, and then the tip goes in the tip protector. The thing I like about the 11.5 and the 13.5, the placement of those is great. I actually mentioned this in our 13.5 video. On my Moken 12.5 version 2, the straps were just a little too far forward on that hull for my likings. I used longer rods, you know, in the 6.6 to 7.6 range, and there was just too much rod hanging off the back. I ended up getting another set of these straps. They're readily available from Overdrive carrying cases, or your dealer might have some. There's suppliers that have them, and I moved some farther back for my longer rods. I used the forward more ones for my shorter rods and for nets and things like that. But on the 11.5 and 13.5 version 2, the placement is plenty far back. I don't see an issue with longer rods like that being held in there securely. The other thing you'll notice is the cup holders are gone, and there's more room right here. So on the previous version of the 11.5, there was some kind of half moon cup holders that weren't honestly very functional. I mean, you could get bigger mugs in there, but anytime you put the seat down, the bolts would hit it and crush your cup or get stuck, what have you. And then also, if your seat was off by any means, it would sometimes rub on that cup holder area, and, you know, make a mark in it, or worst case, rub a hole in it. So removing these cup holders kind of makes this area more open. It's also a lot sturdier. In the early versions of the 11.5s, there were some seat crack problems around that area that you're probably aware of. They beefed that up in 2016, and then it's been beefed up even more in this version 2 model. So nice and solid through here. I don't see any issues with that. Moving into the back, it's the same tank well that you expect, or that you've seen in the previous versions. The major difference to getting into the back here is the rudder uphaul cable is right here in the middle, which is more accommodating for the beaver tail. The original Smart Track rudder pulled up real easy. It was really small. The new beaver tail works great because it has more surface area, so it turns a lot sharper, especially if you have overdrive pedal system. But it is a bear to pull up, especially when you have the old rudder uphaul, which is over on the side here. So it had to pull it at an angle. Now it's a straight pull, so it should make it a little easier for you to pull that beaver tail up. As far as the hull design, otherwise it's the same tri-hull. You still have the wheel and the keel. Overall, great improvements for the version 2. I've actually had a few customers have me install these rod tip protectors and then the straps for them on their version 1 lures. A lot of river fishing up here in northwest Wisconsin, so people really appreciate that additional protection / feature for that environment. So here is just an overview of the 11.5 version 2. Again, great improvements from Feelfree. Same price point, which is a great thing considering the upgrades made to it. So if you have any questions, comment below. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe. At 1,000 subscribers, we'll be doing a giveaway. Thanks, everybody.